What's going on? It's the RapNerd, and I'm here today to talk about the long-awaited remake to a classic called Salem's Lot. Now, it just dropped on Max. For the folks who aren't aware of the story of Salem's Lot, I'll give you a quick synopsis. First things first, it is based on the Stephen King horror novel, and it follows a writer named Ben who fled his old town called Jerusalem's Lot as a kid to go off and become a famous writer. And he's reached a point in his career when he's down on his luck, so to get some more inspiration, he goes back to his old town to try and craft a new book. But while he's there, he notices an eerie force creeping into this town, poisoning everyone that's here, leading to some vampire action that takes him on a journey that he did not expect. So first of all, this book has been adapted twice. There is a series from '79 that I thoroughly enjoy. I think it's one of the scariest films I've ever seen, especially when it comes to vampires. And it also was adapted in 2004 as a miniseries. Haven't seen that one, so I can't talk about that one. And honestly, I love this remake because it is exactly what I wanted. And it's pretty much just an abridged version of that '79 series. And this version of the movie is the meat and potatoes of what that story is without the side things going on. And with that definitely comes some issues, so I don't want to act like this is some masterpiece or it's the best thing ever or it did things that the other version didn't, blah, 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 blah. Not saying any of that. Gotta say that before someone tries to go in on the comments, but it was just an entertaining ride and a nice update to what they did here, especially with the technology. I've also never read the book, so I'm not basing anything off of that. So the first thing I can say is this movie is shot beautifully. When I saw the trailer, I was a little worried because there were certain things that looked soundstagey. And of course, I'm sure there were some soundstage moments here, but a lot of what I saw looked like a soundstage because it was just lit and shot beautifully. Like this combination of this massive fog and mist everywhere with the way that the lights look, whether it be from a street light or a porch light or the brake lights of a car, it all shines so well through this mist to really amplify that creepy atmosphere that you would want in a small town being overran like this. And that made the movie creepy on its own. This film does a really great job playing with light from that aspect, and even lights inside the house with things flickering and candle lights and flames. Like, it all works really, really well, and it immersed me into this film so much. There are also a lot of good scares in here that made me jump back seeing them. Some of them, of course, were cheap, but I feel like a lot of them were earned. Like, there were a lot of sequences that were ripped straight from the '79 film, but updated for today's time that still gave me a nice scare. Because I'm a really big fan of small town horror films, especially ones like this that are either overran by some type of entity or creature or even a slasher. They really are able to capture that small town feel by exploring the town in totality. There are a lot of B-roll shots of the actual streets. There are a bunch of different locations within the city that really give you a feel of what Salem's Lot is actually like. One of the issues here is because it's a bridge, you don't get as much character building and things going on as you probably would like. Like, things move very, very fast, but they're still able to capture this good old small town feel where everybody knows each other. The way the characters play off of each other, you can tell that there's a history here, and it makes for good character moments as the story does fly by. And to double down on the feel and the atmosphere, that's one of the reasons why I love it too. It's a good old classic vampire flick. I know some people aren't gonna like it because it does things exactly as the old version or how old films are. It doesn't really go outside of being different, but I like it because of that. Like, this is 100% a popcorn horror film that I will watch a lot. The backdrop is super fall. You can see the leaves and the foliage and all of these different things. Everyone's wearing these sweaters, so it has that cool factor to it that is a perfect fit for an autumn film. And another thing about the film, because it is shot in today's time, technology has advanced in a way that you can do things that you couldn't do back in the day. As you see in the trailer, that shot where Ben runs onto the street and he looks up and you see all these different vampires on buildings. We get a lot of that different type of stuff in this film, and it's all because of the advancement of technology. To add on to that advancement, it goes right into the sound. The sound design in here is a really big additive. I mean, the way some of the voices are contorted in here just sent chills up my spine. They even do something really cool with the crosses that I thoroughly enjoy, yet again, something that you could do with technology. One of the things I really do enjoy about the film as well is how it goes about its scares. There are a lot of things hidden in the dark, and it almost approaches everything like a haunted house, where it might show you a little bit of something and then cut to a different scene and you're like, wait a minute. And then you turn around and hit full-fledged with whatever scare is there. And that was very effective in a lot of different ways. I love that they did that. Now, the places it does lose steam at, like I mentioned, is it moves very, very quickly. So there is not a lot of character development here. But honestly, I really wasn't that bothered with that because I'm not here for that, to be real. So I can definitely see some people getting bothered by that, but me, not so much. But with the rushing of things, information is passed along in dialogue dumps and people just know things for no reason. You really don't understand how people catch on so fast or why they're even this aware of these things. But yet again, I think that's all dependent on the person. For me, it didn't really bother me, but I'm also aware enough to know that that's a clear flaw in the film to where it can't be ignored but had to be stated. But one of the great things that I do like about it kind of being condensed and the pace being a little bit faster is that things kick off pretty damn fast. And once it kicks off, it just does not stop. Like, this film is a crowd pleaser, and I'm honestly baffled as to why WB just dumped this on a streaming service, because I could see this movie making quite a bit of money had they released it in theaters. It's one of those type of films that it may lack depth, but on the surface, it is a hell of a good time. So I will say that if you are expecting more, or for it to step outside of what you know, or step outside of what the 79 miniseries did, you might be disappointed. But again, overall for me, I loved it. It checked every box that I wanted, and I really, really hope I get a physical media release. If you have seen Salem's Lot, the remake, let me know what you think in the comments. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe, and if you already are subscribed, thank you. And until next time, peace. RapNerd Productions, no capping, that's word to mommy. Instead of banking on it, now rapping is just a hobby.